Arnold was the governor of California, right? And then, Ronald Reagan's from California. He was the governor of California at one time, too. It wasn't always that nuts. And when you went back to when I went there in the 1990s, it was much more moderate politically. Like, people were definitely left-leaning, but it wasn't a focus. It wasn't a thing that was discussed all the time. It wasn't. And I remember working with many like older actors who were openly conservative, and no one cared. It was just like, oh, this is Bob. He's really into Bob Dole. Like, it wasn't unusual. Something happened around the Obama administration. Something happened specifically around his second term that really changed everything. And if you look at like internet like searches and use of certain words, especially racism.
Yes.
It flies. It just hits a giant
2014.
Yes.
2014.
Right around then.
Yeah. And it's not just in America. It's literally everywhere in the world. That's why I think it's social media that's caused that.
100%. It's social media, and there's a bunch of factors, but the problem is now that the genie's out of the bottle, they know how easy we are to manipulate. And I don't think people are learning. They're TikToking all day long, and they're just like getting blasted with all this negativity and strife and global conflict and Colombian assassinations. That's what I get. A lot of these assassinations in like cafes. Someone pulls up on a scooter, bang, bang, and then they drive off, and everybody screams. I've seen 100,000 of those. I've seen, it's like everybody's like completely ramped up. And at the same time, you've got people in the UK getting arrested for Facebook posts about immigration.
So I think part of the problem is that people, when they go on these posts, they're not looking to learn something, as you just said. What they actually want is an emotional reaction. They want to feel something. Right. If you live in a society where it's comparatively the easiest it's ever been, and your life is boring because all you do is get up, you go to work, you have food, you commute, you come back. It's essentially a treadmill where you don't feel any of the ups and downs of emotion. Right. Then what way would you get that? But by going online and seeing something fucking awful happening, you feel terror, you feel sadness, you feel rage. At its most basic, you feel alive.
Well, it's also just that's what you're going to watch, and so you're getting sucked into it just because of the algorithm, which is crazy. No one ever considered algorithms before. We considered access to information, but we didn't consider that information be curated to hold your attention span. And all these factors have not been studied well. There's been a few guys like Jonathan Haidt writing about it, a few scholars that are really attempting to like say, hey, what's a sociological and what is the long-term consequences of this happening also for children. These are the first children in human history growing up on social media. Never been done before. We don't know what that's like. Like, what is it going to change in terms of empathy, in terms of hostility, acceptance of violence, which is a completely brand new thing on the left, acceptance and celebration of gun violence. Never happened before when I was a kid. It never existed. No one from the left ever celebrated anybody getting assassinated.